Well, I did, actually.
Fratelloni's Hardware.
Mrs. Crabtree.
Mrs. Ryland.
Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores brings you Garage Logic Podcast number 1292, April 22nd, 2024. 90 degrees on this day in 1980 and 23 degrees on this day in 1974. And with the swimming season approaching us, you'll be doing yourself a favor by getting a hold of Aquaside. They've been helping people maintain great lake shores and swimming holes and swimming ponds for more than 60 years with a complete line of lake and pond control products that take care of everything from weeds to algae. The products are easy to use. They work quickly. They're made right in White Bear Lake. They're registered with both the EPA and DNR, and these products are safe. Call Aquaside, tell them what you're staring at and you want to be rid of, and they'll make sure you get the right products. Call Aquaside at 1-800-328-9350 or go to aquaside.com, and Aquaside brings us the ice outs. Very few today. Minnetonka went out on Earth Day in 1952, but there was no Earth Day in 1952. Earth Day was begun in 1970. And Minnetonka did go out on Earth Day in 1983, and White Bear went out on Earth Day in 1974.
Hail the flashlight king.
Hail you! And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the Rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
On Friday's show, we had fired South High teacher Becca Thompson. And the emailers enjoyed that, including William Curie, who writes, "Make her the garage logician mathematician."
Ooh, I like that.
I've been listening to Garage Logic since it started. I now listen to your podcast from Finland, in Europe, not Minnesota. You would be surprised at how many garage logicians live here. Thank you for years of logic and laughter. We are getting snow flurries today. Hope it's the last. And this is the sunset yesterday in Marikavaara, Finland, my home. And he sent a beautiful picture of the sunset. He lives on water.
I wonder where we are in Finland. We're number one in Anguilla.
Yeah.
You know what? I bet we're damn close to be a number one in Finland.
Probably.
And Willard Anger writes, "Thanks for having Becca on the show. She's cool. I think she's a GLer and doesn't know it. She likes discipline. She owns a motorcycle, intends to work on it, has moxie, etc. One thing I took away is that unprofessional communication equals telling the truth, which is grounds for termination in Minneapolis public schools, apparently. Number one in Little Dix, Anguilla, and our hearts, Willard." I would love to have Becca Thompson on more often.
Well, and as she's pointed out, she's got time.
Right. And I want to just clear this up because everything gets cleared up on Garage Logic.
Right.
Either from you fellows, which is rarely, or from listeners.
Wow.
Jeez.
Wow.
Build up on that.
Timbuktu writes on Friday's podcast, you discussed Joe Biden's claim that a relative was eaten by cannibals in New Guinea. Biden is a former vice president, and perhaps he was just confusing himself with another former vice president who did actually lose a relative to cannibals in New Guinea. Nelson Rockefeller served as vice president from 1974 to 1977. His 23-year-old son, Michael, went to New Guinea in 1961 to collect native art for his father's Museum of Primitive Art in New York. His catamaran capsized off the coast of New Guinea, and he swam ashore to a village inhabited by the Asmat people who were known for cannibalism. Most researchers believe he was eaten by cannibals, as his body or remains were never found, despite the extensive resources of the Rockefeller family. There is a Minnesota connection to Michael Rockefeller. Governor Mark Dayton's first wife was Alida Rockefeller, the daughter of John D. Rockefeller III. Her uncle was Nelson Rockefeller, and Nelson's son, Michael, was her cousin.
Small world.
Who is the millionaire whose
Thank you, John.
son was kidnapped and he refused to pay the
J.
ransom?
Paul Getty.
J. Paul
Okay,
Getty.
that wasn't a Rockefeller.
Didn't they
All right.
cut his ear off or something?
Cut his ear off.
Yeah.
We should get an update from the Gov, the former Gov.
Wouldn't you have been, hey, Dad, just, square up. I want to keep my ears. I'd be mad. Wouldn't you be mad?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Welcome back, Matthew.
Yeah, hi. Did you miss me?
We now have a new homeless and starving person
Oh,
in
no.
America.
Oh, no.
Ilhan Omar's daughter, Isra Hirsi, who attends Barnard and Columbia, apparently was suspended for a few days from Barnard for her participation of a camp-in on the lawn of Columbia in support of Hamas and in defiance of the Israeli state. And John in Arizona writes, maybe she should come back to Minnesota and score a meal from the Feeding Our Future people.
Not bad.
Ooh, pretty good.
And also he notes regarding the traveling Lymans and their current stay in Apache Junction, Arizona. Apache Junction sits at the base of Superstition Mountains, home of the legendary Lost Dutchman gold mine. Did you know that?
Did not know that.
Ilhan Omar's daughter claims she's basically homeless after Colombia's suspension over pro-Palestinian encampment. Isra Hirsi, daughter of Representative Ilhan Omar, claims she's homeless after being suspended from school after the pro-Palestinian encampment at Columbia. Hirsi was seen being detained by police last week for her involvement in the encampment. She announced at Barnard, one of multiple undergraduate schools under Columbia University, suspended her. Barnard told Mediaite that they could not comment on confidential student conduct proceedings, but pointed to a statement noting students were given multiple warnings about the protest. Hirsi spoke with Teen Vogue about her experience and claims she fears homelessness and hunger as she awaits a hearing from the school. Your mother has a couple of domiciles. Isra, I doubt that you really need to be homeless or fear it in any way. Anti-Israeli students set up. That's a different story. The point here's a question I've been thinking about on the Garage Logic service road of life all weekend. How does someone like, I know obviously there would be family influence, but how does someone like Isra Hirsi develop, and I don't think I'm out of bounds here, develop such a hatred for the country at such a young age? What is it about her attitude that has her comfortable with just so casually dismissing the United States and its ways? What is that?
While benefiting from the United States, more
She's at
so
a $90,000 a year school.
benefiting more so than the most of us do.
Now if you do a little deep dive on the daughter Isra, she was leading protests, for example, at the Mall of America when she was 12.
In fact, that wasn't that Ilhan's quote after she was after this came out on Friday's show. Ilhan said that very thing, how proud she was of her daughter's actions, including the Mall of America protest that she organized.
Daughter, Isra, looks at America and sees nothing but a country fraught with what she considers to be just disagreeable existence or disagreeable behavior. How do you get that? How do you arrive at that so quick?
Did you say 90,000 a year?
At Barnard, yeah.
Goodness gracious.
And
Wow.
these were people born, well, not her. She apparently was born in this country, but her mother was born in very difficult circumstances and in complete poverty and war-torn confusion, and gets to this country. And ever since her arrival here, she hasn't liked the country.
No.
Married her husband's brother,
I don't even go there anymore.
cousin.
I don't know what that is.
She's now makes untold millions.
How could you be that ungrateful?
There's the word, ungrateful.
Wouldn't you get off the plane from Somalia and kiss the tarmac?
What is your life missing
Yeah,
if you're
what's
unhappy with her?
wrong? Omar, I wish you'd come on with me because I'd ask you that. Why are you unhappy?
Who are we mad at?
Who are we mad
What are we
at?
mad at today, Omar?
Why are you so unhappy? Why are you so trigger quick to find fault with everything American? I doubt does she attend 4th of July celebrations in her district?
I'm going to
I
go
don't
on
think-
a limb
I
and say
think not.
probably not. Yeah.
And here's the daughter who, I don't know, what is she, 17, 18 maybe? I have no idea.
Oh, she's 21.
21.
She's 21.
Yep.
And she has so quickly developed and followed in her mother's footsteps. They're really what they're doing is they're merely using the protections and the comfort and the freedoms of America to launch their scathing hatred of America. You couldn't get away with this in other countries. Right. I mean, let's see Isra go somewhere else and hold the country accountable for all of which makes her uncomfortable. She'd be in a prison. She won't be in a prison here. She'll be homeless and hungry.
But free.
Which is utter nonsense. She's neither homeless nor hungry. But how comfortable she is in just assuming people will buy that BS. You're not homeless, kid. You're not homeless at all.
She was basically like evicted, you know,
Right.
she was like kicked out. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. But I was like a little bit frantic. Like, where am I going to sleep?
Well, at one of your mother's many domiciles, I would imagine. Call mom and say, can I use your East Coast place? Or will you just spot me a ticket? I'll fly home, stay in your Minneapolis place.
Spot her a ticket? No, she's going to use the credit card her mom gave her and put herself up in the Four Seasons and live, you know, high in the hog. Oh, not hog. I guess hog is a bad word in this case.
Probably not the
Sorry.
hog.
Not
Okay,
the hog.
Probably not the hog.
Yeah, on the falafel.
Maybe high on the chicken or something.
But most of these kids, you know, we're seeing all the protests at all these different universities. They all want to follow that same path, right? The Ilhan Omar path to riches. That's all that this is.
Well, the 25-year-old white elite and 21-year-old black elite in Ursula's case, they really are really fueled by that failed academy. That failed academy plays into their hands. They play into the failed academy's hands, and you have a tornadic whirlwind of disgust for the country. And look at this. Wait, just stop the presses.
Wait a minute.
I wasn't pressing anything.
It's so bad.
How bad
How
is it?
bad is it?
Dogs, city-dwelling dog owners are colonialists. They're marking their colonial territory with dogs who are gentrifying neighborhoods. The dogs are thought to be settler colonial affectations. So apparently, if you live in a big city like New York, you're not supposed to own a dog because the dogs they poop, and apparently that poop is
Most of them do anyway.
is colonial in nature.
Once again, the lack of education and knowledge of history is absolutely stunning here.
Yep.
Guess what a lot of Native Americans had a whole lot of?
You know, Kenny, I'm going to go out on a limb and say dogs.
We have a winner.
Yes.
Lots of dogs. Yep.
Woof. Mia, a New York-born Latina, said that upon reading this, she wondered, are they saying that only white people have dogs? Another woman with an off-leash dog was apparently confronted in Prospect Park by someone filming her with a cell phone camera. She was asking me why I thought I was special, why my dog didn't need to be leashed. Was it because of my white privilege? That's dogs. We're down to dogs. We don't even like dogs.
What about kitty cats? I like watching the cat videos.
I don't know if cats are considered settler colonialists. Boy, those two buzzwords took off in the failed academy overnight. That was a new wrinkle in the anti-white hatred. Well, it's settler colonialism.
Come on.
Do we hand that out as a manual then to each failed academy, or does it get kind of passed around?
I think I should write the manual.
That should be on the back of our state fair GL shirts. Settlist colonial, settler colonial, or something.
We are settler colonialists, but still number one in that I love.
We better get out a dictionary before we go any further.
Did we look it
farther?
It's
I don't know.
Anguilla, right?
It's Anguilla. We're number one in Anguilla, even though we're settler colonial.
Yes, that. Yes.
It's like trying to say colloquial.
You have a kid in your house that would have a tough time with that one.
Which kid?
Well, didn't she had she had the speech thing?
Well, she's older now.
Got it.
She doesn't do it
it was
anymore.
when she was
Everything's
younger.
okay now.
She got over that.
Thanks, cousin Eddie.
Alice, are you a settler colonialist? Well, absolutely not.
Oh, that
one. Now she's a big shot at college and the whole deal. Yeah.
Did she do a protest if she was on campus?
You know, she's a pretty sharp kid. It would depend what the protest is.
Gotcha.
You know, I don't think she'd go in for protesting dogs as being settler colonial. Dogs slammed as settler colonial as pooches and owners blamed for gentrifying New York City by woke activists. Wow. Good Lord in heaven. And Isra Hirsi, she's homeless and hungry because her $90,000 a year school said, you were part of an encampment cheering on Palestine or the Hamas. And her mother is, well, let's put it this way. The apple didn't fall far from the tree.
There you go.
Now, does she have siblings? That I don't know. Is she an only child, I wonder? I have no idea.
I have no clue.
Because I'm not going to spend time trying to follow the Omar genealogical tree.
The old, what do we call it? The 23andMe? Is that
it
the
got
test?
very confusing there. And,
the family tree has been grafted onto itself somehow.
A lot of branches intermingling.
And I'm staying out of that. I don't care. God bless you, Ilhan. But
does it look more like an NCAA bracket?
So over the weekend, Jewish students, this is America, were forbidden from entering a hall at Yale by other Yale students who prohibited them. Is this Germany in 1939?
Pretty damn close.
This is unbelievable. In my lifetime, I'd never thought I'd see something like this. That's how failed the academy is in brainwashing these kids into viewing the world only through the lens of oppressed or oppressor.
Yep.
And they get it wrong half the time. They believe that Jews are oppressors. You know why? Because they're basically white. And they've had success. They have a real country that works.
Yep.
They make stuff and they have jobs and they have schools and they.
You hit on it. Is that what this is? Purely jealousy?
That's part of it.
Do you have the full story? Because what I'm reading, this is the first time hearing of it, and it's very, very disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Including
No kidding.
there was a professor also that was prevented from going into his
one girl was stabbed in the eye
with a pole. Yep.
The American flag was dropped, and the Palestinian flag was thrown up.
Yes. This is the United States of America, which is under serious attack. You're just not seeing tanks roaming across the landscape.
When is that?
You don't need to. You don't need to.
Because we're not
the
putting up a
failed
fight,
academy is doing a hell of a job.
And we're not putting up a fight. We don't care.
The only difference so far, and I know I see in the story I'm reading, they're making reference to 1938 and Jews being blocked from Vienna University. The only difference I see so far is that the U.S. government is not backing this.
Right.
They are not allowing it's a tough word, but the extermination of Jews.